What if I told you that one of the wealthiest men in human history, a man capable of purchasing every rare Rolex ever minted without a second thought, chooses to tell time with a watch that costs less than a basic grocery run? Bill Gates isn't just a tech pioneer or a legendary philanthropist. He is the undisputed king of the humble flex. While his peers in the billionaire class are increasingly seen with mechanical marvels that cost as much as a private island, Gates has curated a vault that defies every rule of traditional wealth. Today, we're cracking open the most unexpected watch collection in the world to find out why a man worth over $100 billion is fiercely loyal to a brand you can find at any local department store. In this deep dive, we're going to analyze the 5 specific timepieces in Gates's rotation, from the rugged $70 diver that has become his signature to a forgotten tech relic from the early 2000s that was decades ahead of its time. But we aren't just looking at prices, we're investigating the psychology of quiet luxury versus loud wealth. By the end of this journey, we'll compare Gates's frugal horology to the skyrocketing 2026 collections of rivals like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. You'll discover why, in the world of the ultra-rich, sometimes the ultimate status symbol isn't a diamond-encrusted tourbillon, but the confidence to wear a $25 Casio to a meeting with world leaders. To understand why Bill Gates is a legend in the watch community, you have to look at the Casio Duro MDV 106 1AV, affectionately known as the Marlin. Valued at approximately $70, though often found for as little as $50, this watch has become the definitive symbol of Gates's approach to wealth. While other tech titans might wear 6-figure prototypes, Gates has been spotted countless times wearing this stainless steel diver, even during high-profile interviews and global summits. It's a choice that reflects a man who values engineering and utility over vanity. The Marlin is more than just a cheap watch. It is a respected piece of horology in its own right. It features a robust 44mm stainless steel case, a 120-click unidirectional rotating bezel, and a screw-down crown that provides a massive 200 meters of water resistance. Inside, it is powered by a reliable Japanese quartz movement that keeps time with a precision that rivals watches 10 times its price. The design is a classic nod to the legendary Rolex Submariner, but at a fraction of a percent of the cost. For Gates, the Duro represents the ultimate no-nonsense tool. It's durable, legible, and performs its primary function perfectly without the need for delicate maintenance. It's a watch that tells the world he doesn't need a status symbol to prove he's the smartest person in the room. His track record does that for him. If you think luxury is about the price tag, you might be wrong. Subscribe to join our community as we decode the secret habits of the world's most powerful people. If the Duro is Bill Gates's fancy event watch, then the Casio MRW200HB1B2V and the W214H1AV Illuminator are his true daily workhorses. Valued at approximately $25 and $24 respectively, these watches represent the absolute floor of billionaire spending, yet they are some of the most functional tools in his arsenal. The MRW200 is a simple, lightweight analog piece that features a day-date display and a bidirectional rotating bezel. Despite its toy-like resin construction, it boasts 100 meters of water resistance, making it practically indestructible for a man who spends his time traveling to remote locations for his foundation's work. On the digital side, the W214H1AV Illuminator provides a stark contrast. This sports watch is inspired by the legendary G-Shock silhouettes, but stripped down to the essentials. It features an oversized front light button, a 7-year battery life, and the classic Illuminator backlight that Casio fans have loved for decades. For Gates, these watches serve a dual purpose. First, they are entirely reliable. They don't require winding, they don't fear a splash of water, and they are incredibly easy to read. Second, they act as a social camouflage. In 2026, the concept of quiet frugality is a powerful political tool. By wearing a $24 watch while discussing multi-billion-dollar healthcare initiatives, Gates signals that he is focused on the work, not the trappings of his status. It forces the person across the table to look at his data, not his diamonds. Have you ever wondered why the world's richest men are moving away from gold and towards resin? Would you feel comfortable wearing a $24 watch to a meeting with a head of state? Long before the Apple Watch or the Samsung Galaxy were even blueprints, Bill Gates was already living in the future. In the early 2000s, he championed a revolutionary project known as Smart Personal Objects Technology, or SPOT. Valued at roughly $200 during its peak, the Microsoft Smartwatch was the world's first true attempt at a mass-market smartwatch. While modern watches rely on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, Gates's visionary device used FM radio subcarrier signals, the same technology that sends song titles to your car radio, to beam data directly to the wrist. Gates didn't just fund this project, he wore the prototypes religiously. At the 2004 Consumer Electronics Show, he stood on stage with Jay Leno and demonstrated how a watch could receive instant weather updates, stock quotes, and even MSN Messenger notifications without being tethered to a phone. It featured glance mode, a precursor to modern complications that cycled through headlines and calendar alerts. Although the technology eventually became discontinued in 2012 due to the rise of smartphones, the Spotwatch remains a crucial major key in his collection. It serves as a badge of honor for his forward-thinking spirit. For Gates, wearing this watch isn't about the $200 price tag, it's about remembering a time when he dared to imagine a world where every object in our lives was connected. It's a testament to the fact that even his cheapest gadgets were built on a billion-dollar vision. This is peak engineering for its time. Share this video with a tech lover who needs to see where smartwatches actually started. While Bill Gates is almost synonymous with Casio today, his collection does feature one notable luxury outlier, the Tag Heuer Professional 2000. Valued at approximately $1,400, this Swiss-made diver represents a rare moment where Gates stepped into the world of prestigious horology. Featuring a classic stainless steel build, a unidirectional rotating bezel, and 200 meters of water resistance, it's a high-quality desk diver that was a staple for executives in the 1990s. However, the most famous thing about this watch isn't its price, it's the fact that Gates literally gave it away. During a conference with a small group of bankers, Gates decided to use the watch as a literal major key icebreaker. He asked the room to guess the value of the watch on his wrist. Most of the attendees, assuming a billionaire must be wearing a six-figure masterpiece, guessed tens of thousands of dollars. One attendee, however, made a much lower bid, coming closest to the actual $1,400 retail price. True to his character, Gates took the watch off his wrist right then and there and handed it to the winner. For Gates, the Tag Heuer wasn't an heirloom or a status symbol, it was a tool for connection. This story highlights his unique perspective on wealth. If a piece of technology, even a fine Swiss watch, serves a better purpose as a gift or a lesson than as an accessory, he has no attachment to it. It proves that while he appreciates quality, he refuses to be possessed by his possessions. To truly appreciate the Gates method, we have to look at how other billionaires have evolved in 2026. The contrast is staggering. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. In the early days of Meta, he mirrored Gates with a wardrobe of gray t-shirts and a complete lack of jewelry. But in 2025 and 2026, Zuckerberg entered what many call his glow-up era. He has been spotted wearing a $900,000 Grubel Forsey Handmade 1, a watch that takes 6,000 hours to build, and a $1.2 million Patek Philippes Grand Complications. Zuckerberg is now using high-end horology to signal a shift from tech boy to global statesman. Then there is Jeff Bezos. Since his move to Miami, his collection has skyrocketed from a modest $12,000 Ulysses Nardine to a mind-blowing $2.4 million Richard Mille RM2705 Rafael Nadal. This watch weighs only 11.5 grams but costs more than most mansions. In 2026, Bezos uses his wrist to broadcast loud wealth, a sign of his physical and financial peak. When you place Gates' $25 Casio next to Bezos' $2.4 million tourbillon, you see two completely different philosophies. Gates uses his watch to say, "I am focused on the world's problems," while the new guard uses their watches to say, "I have conquered the world." The shift in billionaire taste is insane. Like this video if you think Gates has the right idea by staying humble, or share it if you definitely rock the $2 million Richard Mille if you had the chance. At the end of the day, Bill Gates' watch collection teaches us a profound lesson about the nature of success. In a world where luxury is often used as a shield or a shout, Gates uses his $25 Casio as a statement of total security. He doesn't need a diamond-encrusted bezel to prove his worth, because his legacy is written in the code of every computer on the earth and the millions of lives saved by his foundation. He understands a secret that many spend their whole lives trying to learn. A watch can only